Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for being here today. It's a very special episode today because I'm not alone. Here's Kathy, my lovely friend Kathy. She came to join me today for her very first time doing an acrylic pour painting. The canvas is all frog taped up and she's used the pouring medium to get a wonderful consistency, adding just enough water. So you can see there the drip test. And here are all the exciting materials for today, taken at the end of the session so you can see they're completely covered. And she's now laying down the base paint. Funnily enough, when she came, she had all these ideas of what she wanted to do in the colour palette, and then when she got there, something came over her, it comes over us all, doesn't it, when we do our acrylic pouring, and she created a whole different palette, and she used colours I've never used before. And she went wild with it. It was such fun. It was just so wonderful seeing her get live and come alive and just play with the paints. And when she looked around the studio and she had all this choice of different colours and metallics, she just went for it. So she's exploring now, pouring and spreading the base paint around the canvas, and she used the hairdryer to begin with, and then she wanted to use the palette knife. And funny enough, this is a palette knife for doing icing on a cake, and she was really loving it. And so it's a funny one actually, because when you're seeing someone have so much fun, and I said to her, just ask me if you have any questions and whether you want to go for it. You just want to go for it, really. And I just loved watching her play. So she was asking a couple of questions and I was just answering what she was saying, and I was just saying just to make sure that you leave enough paint on the canvas, not get too carried away with the icing of the canvas, because we were just having such a laugh. I was recording this on my phone, so I hope that it's okay, it's not too all over the place, because we were talking quite a lot. And one of the reasons why I took out some of the or all of the speaking is because we had the radio on, and of course you can't have the radio on without having copyright, so I'll remember that for next time. So she's just laying down all of the paint, and it's a nice thick layer of paint. She was really worried about wasting the paint, and I said, don't worry, you're doing brilliantly, and you can always collect the drips. So look at that colour, isn't that a gorgeous colour? That was the ultramarine blue, a tiny bit of the black. I was just pointing out there that she could always use the drips to touch up the sides, and so she was having fun doing that. It's so sensory, isn't it, just playing with the paint for the first time. We'll do our best to try and waste as little paint as possible, and the great thing about fluid art is you can scrape up all the drips and you can use them again. So these beautiful midnight blues, and the paintings always dry a tiny bit darker than you actually imagine, so always bear that in mind. Dancing metallics she chose, and she certainly did get some dancing ladies out of this one. So you could see that she had her gloves on and she was enjoying picking up the paint and getting used to the fact that it was really fluid, and she's never had any experience with painting before in this way, and just using the fingers to stream it across and seeing the effect of it was so lovely to watch. So she decided to go for a travelling cup. I had all these different techniques that she could possibly use, and she fancied this. So this is known as an open cup as well. So it's a travelling cup because it travels across the surface of the canvas. So she's laying the paint in now, and this bronze I've never tried with pink and blue before, and I said this is going to be exciting because I've never seen that. Now then, because we mix the paints right at the very beginning, the bottles that we use for some of the paints, when you squirt them out they create more air bubbles, and so ideally the paint would be sitting. I did show her after she started to do it that you can just take the top off and just plop it in to lessen them. And then she had used the burner to get rid of some of the bubbles as well. But look at those layers of paints going in. And she was asking at this point, how much do I put in? Because she was going to put a little bit in. And I said, do you want to put a bit more? Perhaps layer some of it with white, so we don't know, if we don't know how the bronze will play with the blue, it's possible it might be a bit muddy. And so we were talking about how important it is to layer the paints. And so she was putting a layer of white in between the blue and the bronze. Really, you should see her face at this point. I'll show it in a second. So just enjoy this now as she pours the cup around the canvas and manipulates it. And you'll see a little bit later on, I'm just giving her an example of how to pour the paint down the canvas. And just let her enjoy it. And she absolutely was bursting at the end of it. And she's going to put this painting on her kitchen wall. So I'm so pleased for her. So just enjoy the journey, and I'll be back shortly to show you what happened. You want to hold all the rest of the colours up then? Yeah, see how. On the rainbow effect, look at that. Look. Yeah. That's what I love about training for. I'm sure you're ready? Yes. Oh, I'm loving that house of space. So after tilting, Kathy's watched quite a few of my videos before and lots of other artists' videos, and she decided to tilt. And right at the end, she wasn't too pleased with this block of paint, and so she was experimenting with a palette knife. And she was gently moving it across to see how the paint would interact. Then after a while, she found she wasn't too happy with what the palette knife was doing. And so I said, you can always scrape it, and there's no such thing as mistakes, because she was thinking, oh no, I made a mistake. And there's no such thing as that in fluid art. So she got the big palette knife and she scraped off all the bits she didn't want. And because we'd saved some from the beginning, she had some of that paint to put back on. So now she's going to be pouring the base paint back on, and she'll then tilt it a bit more. So just enjoy the music and the process. I'll be back shortly.
Make plans with all of your friends' dinners, and I'd save you a plate like you're coming by late. Covering up the fact that you're gone. Lied to myself instead of moving on. I could feel a chapter closing down. The very moment I could say it out loud. Strength and pain to wash away the hurt. Days and waiting longer than you want to. Think it's coming into focus how I can picture life without you now. Funny how we fell right in and out of love.
Here I'm just showing you how you can just use a finger just to put it on the paint and attract it down the canvas. And I was just about to get my naughty thumb in there, and I asked her and she said, actually I will do it myself. It's so tempting to get your fingers in there, so I got my mitts off and just enjoyed watching her. I think next time we'll paint together. I can't resist it. You can see how nicely she's just moving the canvas, and she was holding it with love. I could see that she was really enjoying it, and she really did an amazing job. My goodness, this is her first painting. And I said, can you see those dancing ladies appearing? And one of her friends saw that afterwards as well. Can you see? When she turns it round, you can see two dancing ladies.
Covering up the fact that you're gone. Lied to myself instead of moving on. I could feel it chapter closing down. The very moment I could say it out loud. Strength and pain to wash away the hurt. Days and waiting longer than you want to. Think it's coming into focus how I can picture life without you now. Funny how it felt right in and out of love, but that's the story of us. Funny how we fell right out of love.
So now Kathy's just literally touching up the sides and admiring her painting, and just making sure that she's got blue in the corners, and every little bit is how she wants it, and just treating it ever so gently. Her first masterpiece. It was such a joy to watch her. And now towards the end, she's just using the palette knife to make sure we've got no drips underneath, and really carefully making sure that each side is done. And here's the finished result. What a gorgeous painting. I had such a wonderful time with Kathy. So if you're interested in trying acrylic pouring for yourself, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what colours you'd use. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun art adventures. Thank you to everyone for being here today. It's been wonderful sharing this experience with you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care now. Bye.